What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. OG here, and you are watching OGFC Free-to-Play Road to Glory, Episode 1, where we will go over everything that is happening on our journey to the top with this free-to-play squad. You see this man right here? He is just one of many signings, an actual anchorman, along with McAllister's brother. Eventually I'll learn his name, but for right now, he's McAllister's brother. And I'm telling you, it is excellent having actual anchormen in the squad, but we'll go over that later. Let's talk about this signing, though. Another major signing, the second in 2 days, joining Batistuta up top, the Manchester United Michael Owen card. We have been extremely lucky, and what a start to this road to glory. Two excellent strikers that complement each other well, and even though I've only gotten one game with Michael Owen, I can tell he is going to be fantastic. So here's where I've gotten him so far. I still have to level him up, which I have to add, it seems like you get ripped off when you buy these training programs, whether it's with GP or ePoints. You spend a ton and you get very little. So maybe there's reasoning for that. I just had to add it. So as you can see, there's still several levels to go with this Michael Owen card. This is just where I have him so far. This is a completed Batistuta, though. He has been an absolute beast. I got two random boosters, both for Owen and Batistuta. Both of them got great boosters. Striker's Instinct for Owen, Aerial for Batistuta. You see the stats there, 14 goals in 12 games. However, it's been against lower level player versus player and lower level AI, whether it's divisions or the events. So I understand that those goals aren't true to what we're to expect as we go up in competition. However, you can still tell he's just a great striker. And this is a squad we have. This is up to date. And like I was saying earlier, Paredes, that's who I want to start with to talk about because he is an actual anchorman. Up to this point, I've used orchestrators, box-to-box, center backs that were no playstyle CDMs, everything, and put individual instructions on them. And they did the job. They weren't bad by any means, but having an actual anchorman to positioning is just phenomenal. And it does better than any individual instructions you can put on any other playstyle, right? In my opinion, I would say Anchorman's the most important, and maybe that's why it's the most rare. I kept looking for an Anchorman with my pay-to-play squad, pay-to-win squad, whatever you want to call it, and I couldn't find one. So now I have two. I have Paredes, and then I have McAllister, who still needs to get leveled up and may just beat out Paredes, but for now, without being leveled up, Paredes gets the starting nod. And the backline, Theo Hernandez and Trent Alexander-Arnold, both fullback finishers, they do fantastic. However, eventually we'll have to change that, right? They do come into the center mid and help offensively, so for now it's great. As we get into higher levels, though, we will need at least one defensive fullback, or maybe we add a center back and keep those two out there. We'll have to see because they are excellent. Obviously, Koundé and Van Dijk do a great job. And if you've been following the channel, you know I think super highly of Van Dijk in eFootball. He's a legend in FIFA, in FC, now called FC, obviously, but in eFootball, I love him. I feel like he doesn't get as much credit for whatever reason, maybe because there's a ton of great legendary center backs. But I've always liked Van Dijk, and this card hasn't disappointed. Obviously, it's nothing like his Showtime version, which I think has Aerial for it, but it's just a beast of a card. This one will be great for free-to-play squad, though, without a doubt. Moving into our attacking five, we have Phil Foden and Messi playing attacking mid, and then three forwards, right? Mbappe, just because he can't play secondary striker, is an advanced striker center forward along with Batistuta, and then we have a secondary striker, Michael Owen. He's an advanced striker too, but because Mbappe can't play secondary striker, Michael Owen goes there by default. Now, I'm not settled on this formation, and I'm not settled on this starting lineup either. We are continuously adding signings. We will add more. For instance, Barcelona players very soon. We have that worldwide event signing or whatever it's called that Batistuta and Owen came from, where we get to select a player. So the lineup will be changing, and I assume the formation as well. Not to mention some of the players, like I said, with the wingbacks. Two fullback finishers, probably not ideal as we get in the higher divisions. So all of this is basically a feeling out process. I'm seeing which players I like, which players I want to change out first, and then how they play in the setup and what setup will work for the players I have. That's why I said this free-to-play Road to Glory has been a blessing in disguise, because when I was swiping the credit card, getting all the best players, that was pretty much the highlight, right? Whenever new players would come out, trying to spend for them, trying to get them early. Many times you don't. You end up breaking the bank a lot of times. Sometimes I got lucky. I had some legendary ones with Villa and Suarez in the same double pull, and then I got Cruyff and Cantona. Then I got back-to-back with Carlos and Cafu. There's a bunch that I got early where I did save some money, but there's a bunch where I went deep too. Now, is it heartbreaking to lose an account after spending over $700? Well, obviously, but I always seen spending for players as an investment into the channel, not necessarily myself. And to be honest, the game was getting dry. And it's not that a free-to-play Road to Glory adds more modes, right? Because it's still just events and divisions, and I wish there was a lot more modes, whether I was playing free-to-play or how I was before where I was spending for players. It's just that with how shallow the game is, if you will, there was always that excitement when these epics would come out. But then you would get them, and you realize I already have all these players that I'm not even using, and it was a waste to spend money to get more. But it's because the game's so shallow. It's because you're not out on the pitch playing all these different modes and stuff. Once you're done with events and divisions, you're kind of looking for that excitement. Doesn't matter how fun the game is on the pitch, which, let's be honest, no matter how fun it could be, it's taking a huge hit right now. The gameplay is, I should say, because of Smart Assist, because of all the ratty, exploitative tactics such as spamming through balls, spamming crosses, on top of using Smart Assist. So it just takes away from how fun the games could be, which leaves you looking for, excitement within the game and polls for epics and showdowns or whatever, the top players putting money in to do that. That gives you that excitement. Now it's a whole different level of strategy because you will have to find the best free-to-play players that not only suit you, but that can compete with all of these world beater teams. Now you're on the other end where you're going to be out-teamed every game, and especially as you climb up the rankings. So obviously it will help you improve as a player, and you need to improve skill-wise to be able to climb the rankings as a free-to-play player. And you do still when you have a pay-to-win team. It's just those players, they absolutely make a difference. There's no doubt about it. And not only that, but you have to be very smart with the very few coins that you get with your GP, with your E points. For instance, before I would never look at using E points to buy any of those players they release because they couldn't touch any of the players that I bought, right? Now I have to be very smart with spending those E points because I might only be able to get one of those players. And that one player could make the difference playing these top teams. So you have to really be smart about your player selection, really be sharp in getting better and learning how to utilize these players in the best way possible, being as tactically efficient as possible, putting your team in the right setup. So all of that adds depth to the game. Then when you go out and play and finish events and finish, you can't finish divisions, so to speak, but get to where you're satisfied in divisions, you still have growth within your team to make. You still have practice you need to do to get better with these players that aren't going to be on the level of many of your opponent's players. So no, I didn't plan on losing my account, but I did start this account about a month ago, a little over that, because I plan on playing a Road to Glory. That was my original plan, actually, before I started buying all the players. Might have even been over a month ago. That's how I got some of this squad, right? It wasn't a typical startup squad because I got about really one stream in. It's somewhere buried in the streams. But then I decided, you know what, we're going to go the pay-to-play route, and boom, here we are back to free-to-play, back to Road to Glory, and I really think it's going to be a blessing in disguise, and who knows where it will go. I'm excited, though, because I see it as a win-win situation. Either A, we succeed and we show that you can do well with a free-to-play squad, or B, we get to showcase how ridiculous it is for free-to-play players to try to compete in this game, especially versus pay-to-win players. And maybe, in a perfect world, we can start a movement that forces Konami to reward these free-to-play players who are getting absolutely shafted due to Konami's greed. It is quite sickening. But everything we're doing, just like we were doing with the pay-to-win team, everything we're doing is for the betterment of this game. I just feel like a Road to Glory route is more pure. That's why, again, I started it over a month ago. Maybe it was even a month and a half, 2 months ago. I can't remember exactly. Time flies when you're having fun, as they say. But nonetheless, that was my original idea, and I just got inundated with using these top legends because I'm a football fan, and who wouldn't want to use all of these legendary players who Konami, you have to give credit where credit's due. They do a great job of bringing these legends into the game similar to their real-life counterparts. But we will use the legends, the superstars that they give us, and we will dominate just the same. Or we will fight hard trying to dominate just the same. And I must say we are off to a good start. Some excellent signings, obviously, highlighted by Batistuta and Owen. Also some great nominating contracts. Theo Hernandez highlights that. And the sign-on bonus, or whatever it is called, with Van Dijk, Foden, Trent, and then Mbappe. I mean, that's a good, solid foundation to start off the lower divisions in. Then, as we get higher, it gets interesting, but we will just get smarter with how we spend our coins. GP, E-points, all of the above, and the most important part of our club, which is the community. I am so fortunate to have you guys. I've gotten to the point that I've gotten in eFootball because of you guys, and in this Road to Glory, it will be no different. I can't wait to pick your brains. I can't wait to hear some of the ideas, some of the feedback, some of the excellent players. I already saw, for instance, Boomfa letting me know in Discord to get Pedri, which I believe I have 2 Barcelona signings coming up when I complete the Barcelona AI event, if I'm not mistaken. And I just can't wait to work with you guys, along with looking to build this club up to the best it can be as a free-to-play club and get to the highest level we can get as a free-to-play club. So, only time will tell where this journey will take us, but one thing's guaranteed, it will be an absolute blast, because playing eFootball or any football game with you guys, it's always a blast, and that's just the truth. As always, keep grinding, keep having fun. I'll see you on the next one. Peace!